Have you ever pondered on the deeper meaning of the verse from Hosea 10:1, which states, "Israel is a luxuriant vine that yields its fruit. The more his fruit increased, the more altars he built. As his country improved, he improved his pillars." At first glance, it appears to convey prosperity and religious fervor. But is it a blessing or a curse? The luxuriant vine, laden with fruit, signifies a bountiful harvest. The more prosperous they become, the more altars they build, which seems to suggest a rise in religious devotion. As the land becomes more fertile, indicating a flourishing economy, they construct more beautiful pillars, seemingly symbolizing a dual advancement in material and spiritual civilization. However, the prophet criticizes them, stating, "Their heart is false. Now they must bear their guilt. The Lord will break down their altars and destroy their pillars." Suddenly, prosperity appears to be a curse. Why is this so? The newly built altars and pillars are not signs of devotion to the true God, but to false gods and idols. The more bountiful the Israelites' harvest, the more they credit these false gods, expressing gratitude to them. This raises a profound question. What impact does the prosperity of a nation have on the faith of its people? Does wealth bring people closer to the true God, strengthening their faith, or does it divert their attention away from Him? Several studies have found a correlation between a nation's wealth and the role of religion in daily life. In countries with lower average incomes, religion plays a more significant role. Conversely, in wealthier countries, religion's role diminishes. The same studies also found that where true Christian faith flourishes, it encourages diligence and frugality, naturally leading to wealth creation. However, the increase in wealth can give rise to pride, love for the world, and all other factors that can destroy Christian faith. In a study of the top 10 wealthiest nations, it was found that their wealth was initially due to their adherence to biblical principles in establishing social order and business practices for which God blessed them. However, as these nations became wealthier and times changed, the rate at which churches decreased was fastest in these countries. The abundance of material and spiritual life has accelerated the abandonment of traditional religion by the citizens of these affluent nations. This phenomenon is not new. In the Old Testament era, as recorded in Exodus, Moses warned the Israelites who were about to enter the land flowing with milk and honey to be careful not to forget the Lord who brought them out of Egypt, the house of bondage. Sure enough, in the era of Hosea, this phenomenon was recurrent. Ecclesiastes states, "There is nothing new under the sun." In the modern religious world, this phenomenon is rampant. Only the form and content of idols and false gods have changed. Today's altars and pillars have evolved from objects made of wood, gold, and silver to anything we consider more important than God, anything that replaces God in our hearts. This could be wealth, career, relationships, hobbies, sports, entertainment, greed, and addictions to alcohol, drugs, gambling, pornography, and so on. As personal wealth increases, so does the pursuit of these things. It is a phenomenon that every believer should be alert to. To summarize, the verse from Hosea 10:1, while appearing to depict prosperity and religious fervor, is actually a critique of misplaced devotion. The prosperity of a nation can have a significant impact on the faith of its people, often leading them away from true faith and towards materialism and false gods. The modern equivalents of the altars and pillars of Hosea's time can be anything that takes precedence over God in our lives. As believers, it's essential to remain vigilant and ensure that our faith and devotion are directed towards the true God, not the false gods of wealth and materialism.